Communication across cultures. Learning objective. By the end of this presentation, participants will gain a comprehensive understanding of the key communication process, principles, and ethical considerations, and how these factors influence effective interaction in diverse contexts. They will analyze the impact of globalization on communication, exploring both its benefits and challenges in connecting cultures, sharing information, and shaping global business. Additionally, participants will evaluate messages and images from the various cultural texts, recognizing ethical implications of cultural nuances, and will learn strategies for navigating cross-cultural communicating and sensitivity and respect, while upholding ethical standards in an increasingly interconnected world. Definition of communication: the exchange of information, thoughts, and ideas through various channels, verbal, nonverbal, written, and more. Communication models are sender message, channel receiver, feedback noise. Sender initiates the message, while message, the content being communicated, or the conversation, that being topic. Channel, the medium through which the message is transmitted, face-to-face, email, or social media. Receiver, the recipient of the message. Feedback, receiver's response to the message, which can help to the sender adjust their communication. Noise, the interference that distorts the message. Principles of communication and ethics. 30. Message should be clear and concise. Active listening, engaging attentively with message, showing empathy. Transparency, sharing information honestly and openly. Respect, acknowledging cultural differences and valuing diversity. Ethics in communication, honesty, avoiding misleading or false information. Fairness, treating all the parties equally. Confidentially, respecting the privacy in sensitive communications. Cultural sensitivity, being aware of and respecting different cultural norms and practices. Introduction and introduction one introduction to globalization and communication. Globalization refers to the increasing interconnectedness and interdependence of people, business, and cultures across the world, driven by technology, trade, and communication. From traditional forms of communication, like print and postal systems, to digital media, social media, instant messaging, email, globalization has dramatically altered how we interact. The people, the internet, mobile phones, and social media have all reduced barriers to global communication. World map with global digital connections, like clients connecting major cities or continents with social media or communication icons. Icons of communication tools, mobile phones, email, social media, and video conferencing platforms like Zoom or Skype. People plays a central role in facilitating globalization by enabling the instant change of information across vast distance. Positive impacts of globalization on communication key points, access to information, cultural change, and global collaborations. To the access information, the internet allows instant access to global news and educational resources, enhancing awareness and knowledge. Cultural change, social media enabled sharing of cultural stories and experiences, fostering cross-cultural understanding. Global collaboration, platforms like Zoom and Google Docs allow people from different countries to work together in real time. Example, global movements like Black Lives Matter, hashtag Black Lives Matter spread across borders. Online education via TED, Talks, and MOOC. Visuals, social media posts, virtual meetings, and global news streams. Ethical considerations in cultural texts. What are cultural texts? Cultural texts include any form of media, such as ads, movies, social media posts, books, etc., that reflect the values, norms, and ideas of a particular culture. These texts are often shaped by cultural context and can vary greatly between regions and countries. Why evaluate the cultural text? Analyzing cultural texts help us understand how messages are received differently across cultures and highlights the ethical consideration involved in their creation and dissemination. A college of cultural texts, ads, movie posters, social media images, etc., from diverse cultures. Second editor. Cultural icons, for example, a film poster from Hollywood versus a Bollywood film, or an ad campaign from the West compared to the one from an Eastern culture. Ethical consideration evaluating cultural texts. Stereotypes and bias, appropriation, cultural sensitivity, the power of representation. For stereotypes and bias, cultural texts can reinforce stereotypes. For example, women defecate in domestic roles in media or minorities being shown in negative contexts. Cultural appropriation, borrowing aspects of another culture without a proper understanding often resulting in commodification and trivialization of important cultural elements. Cultural sensitivity. Ethical evaluation involves questioning whether cultural symbols or traditions are being used appropriately with respect. The power of representation, how the way that culture is represented or misrepresented in the media affects real world perceptions and relationships. Context, language and interpretation, visual imagery, and symbolism impact on audience reception. The role of context, meaning shifts depending on the cultural lens, and gesture, color, phrase can carry different meanings across cultures. Language and interpretation, idiomatic expressions, slang, and metaphors can create confusion if not understood within the cultural context. Visual imagery and symbolism. Colors, symbols, and imagery have different association depending on culture. Impact on audience perception. How cultural norms shape the way people receive and interpret messages. The a text may be effective in one culture but fail or even offended in another. By introducing communication process and ethical principles on early on, we set a strong foundation. For examples like K-pop and digital inequalities may help make abstract ideas or more relatable. The focus on cultural sensitivity, particularly through real-world examples like the Dolce and Gabbana ad, adds depth and relevance to the discussion. To enhance the presentation, consider adding interactive elements such as audience discussions or polls, and incorporating more diverse case studies of both missteps and unsuccessful cultural adaptations. Overall, the outline is insightful and thought-provoking, offering a balanced view of communications evolving role in an interconnected world. Thank you.